Open your ears and lube up your butthole. It's time for the What Do We Call It podcast. Now, here's your host. It's Jmann. Welcome to the What Do We Call It podcast. I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
Turn on your fucking headlights, people.
Yes. Do it.
I'm so passionate about this because I drive so much, and I hope I didn't already do an episode about this because I can't fucking remember these days.
I'm not recalling it, to be honest.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I drive a lot for work,
Mm-hmm.
and in the winter months, it gets dark sooner in the evening.
Yeah.
So rush hour's a bitch. I can't see you. And frankly, too many people are zipping in and out of lanes without their headlights on, trying to beat traffic. It's hard enough to not get in an accident when you can see the other cars. But when you've got these dark-colored vehicles in your mirror, in the dark, and then they're traveling on dark pavement, everything around you is gray and shitty and darkened, and they're just zipping up the lane behind you. I want to move over without ending up in the fucking hospital.
I'm trying to find out how headlights not coming on automatically still exists, because
Older cars.
my mom's car. My mom had a Buick Century way back in 1998, brand new car. It had automatic headlights.
What year?
98.
Holy shit.
It had automatic headlights. Now, I guess Buick's a little bit of a nicer car, but it's not like a Cadillac or some shit. Hell, I think my 92 Cadillac, let me think a little bit here. I have to think about it. I don't recall if it had automatic headlights, but
That's not helpful.
again, that's 92.
That's not helpful
It's
at all.
not helpful at all, no.
Well-
But every car I've had since then, my 2000 Impala had it, my 2001 LHS had it, and of course my 2008 300 had it, my truck had it. And it's like, I don't know how it doesn't even exist anymore. And the problem that I have with it is because you drive a lot on the road, I work on the road.
Right.
So last week when it was fucking raining and shit, we're doing weight restrictions. We have to run across the road because we're trying to not drive to each side. So we'll run across the roads and everything. And you got people in fucking moderately heavy rain with no fucking lights on. You can't see them. It's foggy. That's another mystery. Is why the fuck you don't turn your headlights on when it's foggy. And
because they can see you, so it doesn't matter if you see them.
A couple of times, they can see my headlights because I have them on. I'm smart. A couple of times it was just like I went to go start crossing the road and a fucking car comes whizzing.
Assholes.
Asshole didn't have his fucking lights on.
And here's the thing about this. I felt so passionate about it that like a month and a half or two ago, I called into the Half-Ass Morning Show and they had Lieutenant Shank from the State Patrol on, and I asked him, what is the rule? Could you state for the listening audience, because I drive a lot, that I have a lot of close calls recently with people with no headlights on. What's the law around having your headlamps on? When's it required? He's like, well, anytime it gets dark enough that it's low visibility, or anytime that there's precipitation that causes you to have lower visibility. And I kind of interrupted him and said, well, I was told the rule of thumb would be, if you need your wipers, you need your lights. And that came from the girlfriend of a cop who told me that at my old job. He's like, that's a good rule. Yeah. I'm like, well, let's take it a step further. Why not just turn them on all the damn time? Why leave it to chance?
Like motorcycles, yeah. They automatically come on when you start a motorcycle. You can't turn them off.
You cannot tell me that anybody would be okay with having an accident that ruins their vehicle, another vehicle, and possibly injures them or somebody else, or worse, to the point where they couldn't just turn a knob or flip a switch. That's all you got to do. Turn a knob, flip a switch.
Selfish.
It is.
It was actually a discussion I had with my coworker when we were running into this, doing the weight restrictions. Is people, drivers especially, are so fucking selfish. It's like, we're driving, okay, we got our headlights on, we got our strobes on because, we're going to be stopping several hundred feet down the road. And cars get right up on our ass. And then when we stop, they give us the hands up in the air shit. And then they turn on a signal and they turn the wheel and they fucking just peel off out of there. And I'm sure some of them probably yelled out, fuck you. But I couldn't hear it because of the engine of the car, the truck, and everything. But it's just like, they're just selfish. So how dare you impede on my ability to go somewhere for a few seconds?
It's ridiculous. I'm moving over for when I see cops stopped or ambulances or fire trucks. Apparently, you got to stop for tow trucks.
Tow trucks and road maintenance vehicles, which is what I do.
That's obvious. But
no, people don't think. They think it's just cops.
Nah.
It's any emergency vehicle with flashing lights.
Now, the other day, I almost got into an accident because some dickhole cut me off to move over because there was a guy with his four-ways sitting on the shoulder. Just a car, just a regular fucking red Chevy sitting on the side of the road with his headlights on and the four-ways going.
Some people do get over for, quote, stranded motorist.
What the fuck? He's not even out of the fucking car.
No, it just, they get over. I'll move over a little bit if there's like a commercial vehicle, like a semi or something. You know, I'll hug the center line or something, but...
Right.
I mean, I know I don't have to get all the way over, and part of it is when I look up there, it's like, are they right on the frickin' fog line? Or are they a few feet over, you know? I judge it.
I'm not trying to sound selfish like, oh my God, how dare you cut me off to fucking be nice and thoughtful towards this driver on the side of the road, but you have to use common sense with that too, because if you suddenly start getting over like really late and almost cause another fucking accident because you're trying to create space for somebody that doesn't have a legal right to it, think, motherfucker, it's just like the headlamps thing. Just turn the knob. Flick the switch. Because if I end up in the hospital and you don't kill me and I can still walk, your name's probably going to be in the police report. It wouldn't take me a lot to figure out where you live. Now, I could sue you, or I could come to your house. I know one of those is going to leave a more lasting impression. Especially if I show up with fucking crutches or a neck brace or in a wheelchair, and we start banging on your goddamn door.
Do you know what I am saying?
It's so fucking simple. And it's worse off nowadays than it used to be because there's so many fucking distracted drivers anyway.
Yeah.
Why would you not give yourself every advantage to see every car on the road? I fucking turn my lights on all the time now, even broad daylight. Because it's the only way people see a car coming because they're too busy looking from screen to road quick. And thankfully my lights will show up in their rear view mirror.
Yeah, you know, I'll be honest. Years ago, probably right before I started driving a semi, I would occasionally get kind of bad because I didn't have a phone that could text before that, and I was kind of new, and it's like, oh, I can have conversations without having to actually talk to people, and you know, I was kind of bad at it. I never had any close calls or anything. I never rear-ended anybody, but I did it, and then I started driving the semi, and I was like, I was driving.
You're driving a fucking giant death machine on wheels.
18-wheeler, you know, I'm at 80,000 pounds. And it's like after I drove the truck a few weeks, I was getting comfortable, and I got a text, and I looked at it. I'm like, oh, and I looked up, I'm like, oh shit, you know, hit the brakes because traffic was slowing down and everything. I was like, you know, I can't do this.
Right.
You know, I was having nightmares and waking up in the middle of the night with my feet stretched out as far as they would go because I'm hitting that imaginary clutch and brake to stop the semi before I rear-ended the person in my dream.
Yeah.
As soon as I stopped using my cell phone while driving, I didn't have the dreams anymore.
Interesting.
So now, I mean, I might, you know, if I hear a notification of a text message, I'll check it while I'm at a stoplight. Just like, who texted? Okay, that person, I'll get it back to them later.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't like, I'll respond real quick. I've got 10 seconds.
Right.
It's just stay off your fucking phones, pay attention to the goddamn road. How hard is it?
Well, here's the thing. Let's run off a couple of things. If it's drizzling, you still need your wipers.
Yeah.
Usually.
A lot of cars nowadays, I know my truck does, if you have your windshield wipers, even if it's on the long delay, you know, like the longest time for wiping, if after 30 seconds it detects, using the windshield wipers, turn the headlights on.
That's awesome. I wish all cars did that.
I think they're starting to do it. I don't know.
Well, my point being is if it's misting and you need your wipers, you need your lights. If it's raining, and I don't care if it's daytime and you have your wipers going, turn your fucking headlights on.
Yeah, road mist actually does affect visibility.
Fog. You talked about fog last week. We had plenty of it.
Yep.
And I saw a lot of people in lighter colored cars, like grays and silvers, that were difficult to see because they didn't have their fucking lights on.
Yep.
And I'm not blind. Sometimes in the early morning going to work those 2 days we had fog, my visibility was less than a quarter mile.
Yeah, I don't even think there's a couple of days I went to work. I don't even think I had a quarter of a mile. I think I could see 8 road skips ahead of me. 8 skips is only 600 feet.
Well, one of the things that Shank said on the radio, I think, is that there's something about times of day when headlights are required. Definitely from 10 to 6.
Probably because of the angle at the sun. You know, if the sun's low at the horizon at 7 in the morning, it's beneficial to have your headlights on because it'll actually make your car stand out if you're
definitely
coming out from the sun towards somebody. You know? And I know a lot of people have argued, well, I don't use my headlights in the fog because I can see better when I don't have the headlights on, because all the headlights seem to do is just light up the fog in front of your car.
They also show the car coming at you where you're at.
It's not just so that you can see. It's so other people can see you, all right? You're the jackass that's going to hit somebody when they pull out in front of you because they didn't see you. If you don't want to have your headlights on, fine. Don't have your headlights on. How about you have your parking lamps on so at least there's some kind of fucking illumination coming from your car?
Something.
You know? Because you can see the amber lights in the fog almost as well as you can see headlights. So turn the fucking things on.
More examples. I've driven in downpour rain for work this past summer.
Mm-hmm.
Daytime, right? It's raining. It's light out. You need your wipers because it's damn near downpouring, and there were still people with no lights on.
I would say, from what I've seen, like 1 in 5 don't have their lights on.
That's a pretty good estimate.
Which is far too many.
Now, let's say that someone does not have their lights on. How would you get their attention?
Traditionally, you used to flash brights. You know, you hit your high beams a couple of times.
Uh-huh.
But people, you know, I guess there were news stories of people doing that and to the wrong person, and a road rage incident ensued. So what a lot of people, I think, do, and I've done a couple of times, although I haven't done it much lately because people are fucking retarded and they don't pay attention anyway, is instead of flashing your brights, they turn their lights off, turn them back on, you know, like that.
That's what I do. And I'm shocked at how many people don't fucking, like, I look at my rear view, I don't see their lights turn on. You would see their tail lights turn on behind you.
No, it's
ridiculous.
They're like, what's wrong with his headlights or whatever. Yeah, it's selfishness. They're not paying attention to the cars. They're just paying attention to themselves in their little bubble.
There's more cars on the road today than ever before, and then attention is at like an all-time minimum.
Yeah.
And I think that one of these days I'm going to get into an accident. And I just want you to sit back while I kind of role play this hypothetical scenario that's been in my head. I want you to picture me on the side of the road. There's been a fender bender. Now, nobody's hurt, but there's damage to both vehicles. Mm-hmm. And we'll say that the other driver rear-ended me, and their car's totaled.
Good.
Right. Number one, fuck them because they didn't have their headlights on. This is the setup. They ran into me.
Okay, with you so far.
So what was happening was I was making a lane change, but I couldn't see them because they didn't have their lights on, and it's getting towards near dark. So here we are now on the side of the interstate. Cars are whizzing by. Totally preventable accident. Their car's now ruined because if they would have their headlights on, I would have seen them and not tried to make a lane change where they rear-ended me. Our state, let's not get into the who's at fault here, but they should have their fucking headlights on. I would say, oh my God, are you okay? And they'd be like, yeah, oh my God, my car. Why'd you pull out in front of me? And I would say, well, I didn't see you. Well, what the fuck? You can't see a car? Well, it's getting dark. I mean, I just feel like this could have been preventable. You know, like, I know that technology only goes so far in terms of human error, but if only someone at some point during the genesis of automobile creation and manufacturing had come up with some sort of safety mechanism to counteract my inability to see a car speeding in the lane in my blind spot, if only there was some sort of, I don't know, illumination that would save me from getting in your path. Some sort of light source. What, like my headlights? I get what you're saying. Ding! Fuckface, yes, ding.
You get a prize.
Yeah, the prize is me saying, fuck you. Where's your insurance?
You know, another issue, I don't know if you've realized it, I've seen a lot lately, is a lot of vehicles now have running lights. So when you put the car in gear, the it's not the actual headlights, but they're running lamps or a dimmed down version of the headlight, whatever the fuck, come on, so that there's always at least something in the front. These are the same fucking idiots who drive in the dark. Yeah, they got illumination in the front. You can barely see the road, but their taillights aren't on because they don't have their goddamn lights on. Have you seen that?
Jesus Christ.
Their running lights are on, so they think their headlights are on, but there's no taillights.
Whoops.
Yeah. I've seen that a lot.
Well, and you plow snow, so it's a big howdy do. What's that like when you're fucking plowing and all of a sudden you notice a car in the danger zone with no fucking headlights on?
At this point, I have to pray to God I'm not about to get out of the left turn lane back into the left lane so I can continue to plow, because if they're in that spot and I'm approaching the end of the median, I have to slam my brakes, which means anybody behind me or whoever's in that quote danger zone could end up hitting the wing of the truck.
Fuck.
And it's not our fault if you do. Doesn't matter what we're doing.
That was my question, is who's liable if that were to happen?
We are an emergency vehicle. Our strobes are on. We are doing a road service for public safety. We are not at fault.
Okay, so let's say you're making a U-turn and then a car is coming and they don't have their headlights on. They run into the front of your truck.
That would be a severe gray area. I guess the Fred would be asking is, when you were doing a U-turn, were you at a signalized intersection where you could?
Well, say yes. You were making a legal U-turn at a green light, but this car was speeding with their headlights off, and they hit you.
So I'm coming left,
yep,
counterclockwise, and they come from my right, you mean?
Yeah, they smack your right side.
They come smack the front side. Well, if I'm making a legal U-turn at a signalized intersection, it means I probably most likely have a green arrow, and they would be at fault.
Good for you. I like that. As somebody that always puts their fucking lights on now any time of day, I'm just like, fuck you people. I hope you all get tickets.
Yeah, I turned the lights on in the vehicles if it's raining, misting, fog. I mean, I'm a commercial driver. I'm supposed to.
Well, that's the thing, is we go again.
Technically, everybody's supposed to, yeah.
So here we go. Shank, another thing he said was, it's a findable offense, because I asked him, like, can you get a fine? He said, yeah, you can get a fine for that. So why would you not turn the knob or flip the switch or do the thing to fucking turn the lights on to avoid... Why would anybody say, well, it's daytime?
There's no enforcement, that's why.
Jesus fucking Christ. You have all the keys to success right there in your vehicle. Your fucking blinker, your headlights, your four-ways, your high beams... Everything under the sun there to help you show people. Why wouldn't you do it when you know that you could cause an accident or you could get a fine? Why would you not just fucking do it?
It's got to come down to people getting fined for it, you know. But I guess some cops think it's an absolute waste of time to start pulling people over for not having headlights on.
Fuck that shit. If I was a trooper, I would do it left, right, and sideways.
I'd do it, you know, because you hit 10 people in a day during your shift, they're going to tell their friends. And now... word of mouth is spreading around. They're pulling people over for not having their headlights on. It's against the law to not have your headlights on when it's raining. Well, now people might actually start putting their freaking headlights on. I know that when I got pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt, I started wearing a seatbelt.
Yeah.
And I told everybody I knew, you wear a seatbelt, right?
Well, after I got in that rollover accident, I'm like, one thing that kept me from getting ejected was that fucking seatbelt.
Yeah, when I ran a red light. Okay, I'll just say, I did run it. It was yellow. I went intersection. It was red before I rounded the end of the median. I ran a light, and there was a sheriff behind me.
Uh-oh.
You know what? Since I got that ticket and that $175 fine, I'm way more willing to stop at a yellow light than I am to just keep going through it.
Well, it's just like I've said in our episode, Pause for Concern. Are you in that big of a hurry that you're going to go right before it turns red and get into an accident with somebody? That's why when my light turns green, I wait for 2 seconds and look both ways for it.
I've started doing that recently, too. Like, if I'm, like, making a left turn...
That's why we did an episode about it.
And I get the green, yeah, I look and I look because I've watched way too many fucking YouTube videos the last couple of years where it's like, oh, light's green, I'm going to go, and they don't look, and they pull it, and some jackass thinks,
T-bones the shit out of them.
I can get right through there, and T-bones them.
Dummies.
You know, so I've started, the last few weeks, I've actually started looking before I proceed on a left turn green arrow. Because you never know.
Last little blip that I want to throw out here. And this is the opposite. Too much illumination. And I'm not talking about people driving with their brights. Here's what I saw the other day. Some fucking dumb kid in a Toyota Camry mounted an LED bright like it must have been the size of your average home heat vent cover.
Yep. Okay, I know what you're talking
about. It's a foot fucking long. He mounts it on his goddamn grill in the front. It's
I've seen it on
running
trucks too,
the whole time. I could not see. I just wanted to fucking steer right into him. Like, all right, asshole. This is what you get.
I was blinded by the light.
I fucking was. I couldn't see. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's ridiculous. I wonder if those are legal. They can't be.
I don't know. I've seen them. One of my coworkers, who not my coworker anymore, really, he put a big one. That thing's got to be 2 feet wide on the front of his truck. And I know he doesn't run it all the time.
Retard alert.
But I don't know how often he runs it. He turned it on for me when he first installed it, and I'm just like, Jesus, that's fucking bright.
It's brighter than, it's like 50% brighter than your average car factory
LEDs can
bright.
put out far more illumination than a halogen bulb or any of the bulbs that standardly put in cars right now. So
pieces of shit.
So it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, it'd be something to know if those are legal or not, because I don't know if there's a limit on how much.
Well, there's light kits and there's coloration,
lumens.
and they have to be like those blue tinted light ones,
which I heard don't work well in rain.
Well, either way, people have gotten really pissed about those, but it's got to be like whitish. It can't be so distracting that it adversely affects
a few plow trucks with green.
Why?
I don't know. That's something I wanted to
tribute to the troops. What the fuck?
No, I there's one that plows. I've seen it a couple of times when I was out plowing, and its fucking headlights are green.
Jesus Christ!
I don't know why.
That's ridiculous. Interact with the show on Twitter at What Do We Call It? That is at What Do We Call It? You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/What Do We Call It podcast show. For the What Do We Call It podcast, I'm Jmann.
And I'm number one fan, Tim.
And that's the end.